at least 3 people have died following a stampede at Prophet Shepherd Bushiri's Enlightened Christian Church in Pretoria. 9 people were injured. ENCA's Lindo Kulu is covering that story for us. Lindo, can you tell us what the current status is now with the congregants of Shepherd Bushiri? What is the status with those that have been injured?
Well, Sister, we are with Mr. Baloyi here, who is the attorney, who's going to take us through some of the details and what has transpired here, and of course give us that update that you are asking. Mr. Baloyi, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, could you please just tell us and clarify for us what exactly transpired on that day, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, thank you very much, and good afternoon to the viewers and everyone. Look, it was on a Friday, where suddenly a thunderstorm came through, caught us off guard, and actually everyone didn't expect it. It just happened accidentally, quickly like that. Nobody, I can assure you, had an umbrella on the day. Yes. That's when people started running into the shelter, trying to find a shelter wherever possible near the cult. That's when, as they were running, some of us trapped each other, pushed each other, and some fell on the floor and walked all over each other. And this is what happened. This is how now we land ourselves in the position that we are in now.
So, but take us through what is the status there? How many people had passed on? Because we are getting reports that a certain number of people had passed on. How many were injured? And what is the status of those that are injured at the moment?
Okay. The status is that unfortunately 3 of our members have lost their life. It's confirmed that now they have passed on. We regrettably apologetic about that. So further to that, there's reported injured. The total number is about 17. At the moment, those 17 we're talking about, they are discharged from the hospital. What we did, we reached out to them. We provided accommodation for them as of yesterday, as soon as immediately they were discharged. We also made sure that they are provided with accommodation, food, whatever they needed. We make sure that we assist them.
I mean, looking at the operation, the big operation that you are having here over the past 3 days, I understand. But just take me through the security details that you've put in place to actually try and deal with such situations. Because one of the questions that arises is the fact so many securities we've seen coming inside, but what went wrong in terms of them not being able to manage that situation?
Look, with thunderstorm, securities also, as they were there, they are human beings. They also needed to run away from shelter. Be as it may, as people were running, remember everyone was running on the road, on the path. Security also need to be standing somewhere guiding people, but it becomes practically impossible to guide somebody who's running as well, because you also need to run. However, be as it may, it's one of those situations where it was difficult for security to do anything because people were running. As to the mechanism in place, what now with mechanism with devices to say that as people come into the church, we make sure that we usher them to the respective halls, not them to wander around or wander around. We're doing our best to make sure that should not happen. As a result, we won't have people running. Should a thunderstorm suddenly come like that, everyone will be in the hall, will be seated, will just watch the rain through the windows. Yeah.
I want to talk about the security that you've put in place, particularly for tomorrow's event, in fact, which is going to be an event that will usher the congregants to the new year. But if I can start here, in terms of those that have passed on, have you reached out to the families? Have you identified who they are? And what has been the response from the families?
Okay. The 3 people who have passed on, unfortunately, they haven't been identified. We're still passing the message across our church members to assist us in order to identify them. So far, we don't know who they are. And however, the matter is with the police. They're also assisting with the photograph so that we can quickly post the pictures so people can actually assist in identifying them.
Tomorrow is probably the biggest day in terms of this operation that you're having, in terms of the church services that you'll be providing, which again I said is when you will be ushering people to the new year, the congregants to the new year. But what plan do you have to ensure that such a situation doesn't occur, such an incident doesn't occur, particularly because if not thousands, hundreds of thousands will be flocking in to be ushered into the new year by the prophet. But what is the plan here? What are the numbers in terms of the security? Just take take us through that.
Okay, so far internally ourselves, we have our own trained personnel or ushers or members of the church who belong to a tribe called Gad. So these are roughly around plus minus 2,000, but they are more than 2,000 roughly. So we've deployed them. They are well trained, especially to this morning they came here earlier on so that we can make sure that they are well equipped and be on guard for such an unexpected incident like that one. Over and above that, we've secured the services of about 4 security companies which are private, which each one of them, we know they are bringing minimum of at least security 1,000 of the security personnel will be deployed into this place. So they'll be deployed in various areas. They'll be dealing with various sections of this event itself. Halls will be having security, on the ground there will be security. So that's how we've kept and doing our best to make sure that we have enough securities to make sure that incident like that, be it natural or not, we're on top of it.
All right. So in terms of saying that you will make sure that each incident that will take place, you will be on top of it. Just give me your confidence. Are you confident that in fact you will not see anything like that tomorrow and moving forward in future?
Definitely, I can assure you that, and on top, over and above that, I can assure you this is the first of its kind for it to happen here in our church. We never had such a situation because our security, our ushers, our members who are well trained to be the security of the church have been doing their job properly. We never experienced such a disaster that we experienced. So going forward, I can definitely assure you that now we had to beef up our security and also beef up the understanding of our securities as far as anything that may happen unexpectedly. We now remain on alert. So it was a good lesson for us. We were learning from it. They are also learning. We're teaching them. We're making sure that they are well equipped to deal with such situations.
All right, we'll just have to leave it there for now. Mr. Baloyi, who is the attorney for Bushiri, Prophet Bushiri, there to partake, just taking us through some of the things that had actually happened, confirming some of the details that in fact there was that fatality, 3 fatalities. But one of the things he did say or mention was that they haven't identified exactly who these people are, and they have called on the congregants here particularly to just give them information in terms of how they can identify and then reach out to the families. The other 17 that they said were injured, we understand, have been discharged and have been provided with accommodation, and they have been tending to them.